Oh, we're so tiny! Oops. Hello everybody, welcome to stream. I'm gonna make us a little bit bigger. I thought we were gonna be a lot... like we were gonna end up really big. I was worried about that. But we worked out fine. Hello everybody, welcome in. I'll be back on the correct page in a minute. Oh my gosh, Baker Street, hello! Welcome in. Let me give you a head pat too.
All the head pats.
Yeah, I didn't head pat you, Chris. I'll get to that in a second. But
It's
hello,
okay.
hello! Somya, welcome in. Thank you for the hydrate. I know that's your favorite.
I
And
don't
since I'm
have
still
water,
on
but I
here.
did get a root beer.
That works, but remember, you gotta hydrate every time I do. I don't know if that counts as hydrating though? Oh, Sapphire beat me to it. Sapphire gave you a head pat.
Sapphire, 10 out of 10. I appreciate you.
But hello everyone, welcome in. We're just gonna chat about random D&D stuff while I goof off with Dungeon Alchemist, because that's fun. Let me know if the music is too loud. I tried testing it, having stream up on something else, but it's... my laptop's not playing nice today. Nothing's playing nice today. Baker Street says, gotta drink Goblin Ink? Goblin It Ink?
I don't know
You
what
gotta
it is,
drink
but I
ink.
am intrigued.
Well, you are supposed to be an Inktopus, so you do need to drink ink. Cool. Everything's
You're
working.
not wrong.
I usually have some sort of topic. Oh, drink Goblin. 3 drinks. Yeah. I currently have 2 different coffees, my water, and the green tea that Baker Street's sister gave me a week ago. The bottle's empty, but it's sitting here still. Yeah.
I would have 3 drinks. I have a root beer. I have what's left of a Red Bull around here somewhere. But I finished my water at work today. So I call that a win.
Yeah, I do got 2 copies, Baker Street. It's one of those days. It's one of those days.
Sometimes I think it's one of those days more often than not.
Yeah. I mean, everyone should be good to know. I'm getting yelled at. I did just refill my water, so it's full. But no, I am not taking down the cooldown. I learned the hilarious hard way of what happens if you don't have a cooldown on some of your commands or channel points. I think it's between Somya, who did most of them, and then Meve and Tokyo. I had like 8 hydrates within the first 5 minutes of stream.
That's a good way to take a bathroom break early.
Oh, I took like 2 bathroom breaks that stream at least, if not a 3rd one. I don't remember already. Yes, you drown. Mixed royalty, Nasreen. I don't want to drown. I would prefer to live and not live in my bathroom by peeing all the time.
I second all of that.
But yeah, I'm just gonna be goofing off. And we're gonna talk about random stuff. The theme for this one, which we always have a theme and then get very off topic, is just ideas for one-shots, because we were talking about potentially doing those and potentially recording and or streaming those.
I just want to point off that I don't know that we've ever been off topic.
Oh, always. We are always off topic.
Oh, you can't be off topic if we don't have a topic.
Yes, but we always decide on a topic. My cats are being such gremlins right now. Can you guys stop? They're playing with a plastic bag. And I hope you guys can't hear, but it's driving me crazy. So I mentioned to Inktopus right before we stream. I'm gonna swap between what I call you all the time because you're okay with both. So what I was talking to Inktopus on before stream is I did have an idea of one, because I know a lot of people I know don't really care about role-playing D&D so much, and one-shots are fun, but they just want to play the action. And this is something I also worked on with Sapphire before, is essentially just a constant battle type of thing. So whether that be, oh, my mic keeps peaking. I know roleplay is the best part, but there are some people that just want to like try different builds, do a bunch of strategy. And so for that, we thought of essentially like a battle royale type of thing, or a boss rush.
So I think I know we talked about this before. Back in 4th edition, because that edition was so heavily focused on combat, there actually was an official series of D&D adventures called Dungeon Delve. And a lot of them were just one massive boss fight, with like arena combat or like crazy environmental effects, like going into a dragon's lair and dealing with what happens when an ancient red dragon has centuries to set up, you know, the inside of this volcano. I feel like that could be really, really fun with the right group of players.
Absolutely. I think
the downside is... Oh, go ahead.
The biggest thing that, like I was thinking of when I was working with Sapphire, talking about it a bit, like the reason we were thinking of just like a boss rush thing and how that would be fun is because essentially it's a nice way to not only just be like, okay, I'm going to basically test out a character as far as I can take it, and then you could also have fun doing that with a group of people. For example, potentially being like, okay, first boss, we're all at level like 3 because no one likes to start at level 1. But when you beat that boss, you level up. You then have 10 minutes to complete the level up process, and then the next fight starts. You're back at full health, your whole party's back at full health. You have all your spell slots and everything, or whatever needs to reset. And then you essentially, so then you're level 4 against your second boss. And you keep going till either the party's wiped out, the players quit, or you're level 20.
I love it. Number one, I absolutely love it. There's a lot of setup there.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't say it was going to be easy.
No, so I think as a DM, one, I would pre-make every encounter. And I would probably do it like, I'd probably jump levels. Like you start at 3, then you go straight to 5, then you go to like 8. And then 11, because that's when some of the extra stuff kicks in and on up. And I would make the players essentially have one character sheet for each of the levels we're going to play at. So we don't have to stop and slow down and put a time limit on a level up. Like straight up, you've got your next sheet, grab it, you're at full everything right after a long rest. Let's jump into it. As a DM, seeing them build the characters like that, so it would probably be a 2-shot realistically. One session, just full character building.
Well, the point is, preferably your players will prep things beforehand, like before the campaign even starts.
Yeah.
Because the point is one shot. And it's essentially a recyclable one. It's not going to be perfect. A lot of the mechanics will probably be kind of broken. Because it's not, the point is as minimal setup as possible. I am struggling to get these centered. Oh my goodness. But I also see what you mean.
I don't know. For me, because a one-shot is usually, like, you have such a limited amount of time, like, a 6-hour game session is kind of the outside edge of that. I try to do anything as a DM I can to speed things up. Like, if it was a straight dungeon crawl, go in, get into these combats, fight the monsters, grab the gold, get out, I would probably, like, I would keep the same initiatives. Like, you roll initiative once at the start of the game, that's your initiative for the rest of the game. You know, little tweaks like that to try to keep it flowing, keep it moving, don't get bogged down, because if you get bogged down, you're not going to make it to the end, and then it becomes a 2-shot, or you just don't finish it.
Yeah.
And I am notorious for turning a 1-shot into a 2-shot into, oh, this is just our new campaign.
I know, that's why we're having this conversation. His name is Inktopus, not Inkpops. But that's fine, I can start the gamba. Hi, Baker. Thank you for the lurk. Okay, you can keep talking. I just gotta swap screens real quick.
You're all good. Will I mention 4th edition again? Yeah, probably.
Right, you're newer to Twitch. So, essentially, Tokyo redeemed making... Oh, are you gonna set it up? Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Please do. I have a redeem where essentially people can decide on something to gamble on. And he has decided to have them gamble on if you would mention 4th edition again. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Essentially, if you do, whoever votes yes, you will mention 4th edition again will get points. Anybody who said no and say you do mention it, then they won't get points.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like gambling. But we call it a gamba.
That's fair. It's a good gamble. I forgot what I was talking about.
How you're notorious for turning a 1-shot into a 2-shot. And that's why I mentioned, that's literally why we're having this talk today. Because we need to figure out how to make it so you don't constantly turn things into 2-shots.
My problem is I get attached to the characters. The only times I've ever run a successful like one shot, they were horror games, and at least 50% of the party died. Which, I mean, it is the beauty of a one shot. Like, you're not gonna play those characters again. Play it like you stole it. You know,
oh,
let
absolutely.
the chips fall where they may. And I definitely I embrace it as a horror game and told them up front, like, hey, don't get too attached. You may never see these character sheets again.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of funny because I have them in a folder somewhere.
I mean, they can always make nice NPCs.
Oh yeah.
Which is probably what I do. Because I know it would definitely be a lot of fun to be able to, like, again, Sapphire has a huge amount of characters just on standby. To be able to just whip one out to use for a nice one-shot here or there.
Oh, my D&D Beyond account is full of characters. The fact that I get unlimited characters on that is actually starting to be a problem.
Tokyo, if you cheat on Gambas, I will unmod you. I'm warning you now.
Shots fired.
Oh, you can't? Oops. Apparently, Tokyo can't vote.
Well, I mean, that's what you get for starting it, I guess.
If there's one you want to vote on, I can make it. How's that? You just gotta tell me. Oh, you can vote.
You just can't say which answer won
Oh,
the
but
vote.
you can't choose the winner. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I was like, if you cheat. But it's fine. That's cool.
That
So it has a
escalated
built-in
quickly.
system so that you can't cheat.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, let's see. One-shot ideas. I've had a few. I kind of like the idea of a semi-connected series of one-shots, and go with me on this. Different characters, different party every time, and a different like dungeon setup. But the setting overall is like a sports show or like a game show, something like that. So it's all set up like you have spectators and maybe a system where the crowd or whoever is gambling on it. Like, oh, will they survive the dungeon?
Mm-hmm.
And that could be a fun thing where it's like, oh, yeah, one of these characters died, so we bring in one of the backups off of the roster, and it could be like teams, like Team Owlbear versus Team Gelatinous Cube.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, you know, the starting fighter on Team Owlbear just got decapitated. Who are they going to pull in the next, like, little off-ramp? Oh, they're bringing in a paladin this time. And have kind of a roster of character sheets.
That would be interesting.
And it lets everyone know, like, hey, don't get attached to the characters, but if they die in the middle of an adventure, they don't have to sit out the rest of the game. They've got a backup sheet.
That's true.
Or 3 or 4.
Because that would also really suck, having to sit out.
Yeah. Which a lot of the time is why I'm not as lethal of a DM as I really could be. Or should be in a one-shot.
Oh, there it goes. I was like, my game froze, but it's fine.
It likes to do that. It likes to
really
pretend like
does.
it's frozen, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I think one-shots could also be a fun way to explore different parts of a setting. And be like, okay, we're going to do 5 one-shots set in Eberron, but a different part of the world in each one.
That would be really cool.
Baker Street, I should run a highly lethal campaign. Bet.
Hardest part, getting the players.
Hardest part is getting the players and the scheduling to do it. Now the question is, a highly lethal campaign, do I do it? Would it be like a traditional D&D game? Or... because I've got like horror-based systems or other games where character creation is really quick.
That would probably be very beneficial, especially if everyone starts unaliving super fast.
Yeah. I have some devious traps up my sleeve that I haven't dropped in games.
Make them get attached to their characters. Baker Street just wants to see people suffer.
Baker Street, do you want to be one of the players in this? Because we can make that happen. I think you know I have no qualms doing horrible things to your characters.
All our poor babies will get beat up so fast.
I'm so down. Make me suffer. Careful what you wish for.
Don't.
I got thoughts.
I don't do that to our current campaign. If
no,
possible.
Our current campaign doesn't work for that.
Okay, I was like, I think we made it quite a wholesome campaign, and I might cry.
I know, like, the way to or the worst thing I could do in that campaign would be to do anything to Bucket.
Oh, then we'd all cry.
I might be right there with you. Bucket
absolutely.
is a joy.
Bucket is the best thing ever. Best NPC ever. For those that don't know, Bucket's just a really lovable NPC in a campaign we're currently in. And I would absolutely cry if anything happened to Bucket. I would cry for much long time. I still need to see art of Bucket.
I need to either learn how to draw or find art that will suit for Bucket.
We need Bucket art. I need to know the lore of Bucket. Bucket needs a one-shot, just like, of past history.
See, now, there's something I could do. A highly lethal one-shot where all the characters are people from Bucket's past.
That would be interesting. And then we get little Bucket cameos everywhere.
Oh yeah, Bucket would show up a few times. And then of course I would tie that in later to the full game, or like the full campaign. Mm-hmm. Have Bucket mention like, oh, I had this friend once. They're not with us anymore.
Oh, poor Bucket.
Baker Street, you should know how devious I am. We plotted quite a bit together with Curse of Strahd.
We need like once a month where just like somebody in our group takes a day off, or a couple people if needed, so that we can continue our campaign. Because we are going way too long without playing. We could play one shots. That's also part of the reason I started bringing it up, was so we could potentially all play one shots together. We could also get potentially more players to join in at some points. It's a nice thing about one shots.
Oh yeah,
you can always change up your roster. Yeah, you can change it based on who's available.
Now the real question for one shots. Who is going to be the one to run a one shot for me to play?
Oh, my game froze. Okay, game's gonna be frozen. Oh, nope, there it is.
It faked you out again.
It's going to keep doing that. It doesn't really like being streamed all the time. My computer's had a time. I mean, I've attempted to DM before. I can't guarantee it'll be a ton of fun, but I wouldn't mind doing it. And if BakerStreetBabe is still interested in DMing, a one-shot's usually a great way to go for it.
Yeah. I mean,
Tokyo,
one-shots
are
are the
you
perfect
also
way.
offering? Oops, this tree's not gonna fit here. No, go away, tree.
Let the tree just be part of the house.
But yeah, it would actually be a wonderful opportunity for people to test out DMing.
It really is. That's how I did a lot.
Absolutely
I don't
right,
want to say like
BakerStreet.
honed my skills. But I've played run a lot of one shots where I learned a lot about improvising, and kind of rolling with the, what's going on. One shots are really nice to come into with just a couple of bits of prep, like a location or a couple specific monsters I want to use or something like that, and just be like, I have no plot in mind. We're just gonna roll with it. And at the end of the session, something of sort of a climax is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. It'll be fun. I would really want to run a one-shot, but themed in space.
Yeah?
Just because I think it would be fun.
I think it would be. There are a couple games that would fit for that too.
I'm sure. BakerStreetBabe says the improvising is where I would struggle. Yeah, same. But also, as something I've kind of learned from streaming, that's stuff that definitely builds up in time. Like, you'll definitely get the hang of it, just over time. Practice
100%.
really helps. And I'm sure you felt it as a player, too, where at first, when you're still getting to know your character, you're like, oh, I'm not sure. But once you really get into your character, you can come up with the craziest of stuff.
And improvisation is, it's a skill. Like, I wouldn't say that it's really a talent so much as a skill that you hone and practice like anything else.
Mm-hmm. And Tokyo, hold on, wait, no, screen, please. I know you believe in yourself, but I think you should play a game before you try to run one, sir. Just in case. Just in case.
On the other hand, I fully encourage anybody that wants a DM, just pick up a book, jump in, and go. Like, maybe you get some rules wrong, maybe you make some weird calls, make decisions, but going crazy with it is half the fun.
That's true.
It took me a long time to learn, to just jump in and be like, I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know what these crazy players are going to come up with and throw at me. Let's just see what happens and have a good time.
Absolutely. And also building off of what Tokyo said about world building, that's also one of the biggest reasons that I wanted to potentially DM. I did want to eventually, after some practice, be able to build up my own world, get stuff like that going, because that's so much fun to me. Because I love lore and games and stuff anyway, and I'm like, it's probably just as cool. But it is a lot harder, because you got to make sure everything makes sense, or at least you would like to. Making sure that everything's balanced. I think that's the harder part. But building everything up is so much fun. You're already building in your head? Good!
Good!
Don't let my very slight potential negativity stop you. Do what you want to. And if you want to run a campaign, do it. Absolutely. I will play it with you. I will gladly join you. And we will have fun, no matter what. You guys should have seen my first time trying to run Curse of Strahd. Oh my gosh. My players said they had fun, but I thought it was so bad. I was like, I don't know how you guys had fun, because I didn't. Which isn't true. I did have fun. But I was just nervous the whole time, because it was my first time trying to run a campaign at all. And that made it scary.
That could be an entire stream right there.
Beginner DMs, probably.
Or DM imposter syndrome. Because there are a lot of times where I jump into DM and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I here? Who put me in charge of this? What is even going on? All of my friends are going to think I'm an idiot.
Right, but to be honest, everyone's just there to have fun, so they don't care. And like we've also been mentioning a lot, like, oh, we're going to, we want to set things up so we can do it over Discord to make it easier on like meetup times and everything. And then location won't matter. Which all really helps out too, because then people can be there regardless and there's not a lot of stress. Oh, I remember trying to get all of us together for playing at Mox. That was a doozy.
That was a struggle. Trying to get up to the game store was a hassle. Like, well worth it and definitely a great time. But yeah, the logistics of a campaign in person can be the biggest hurdle.
I think, slightly turning back the topic as well. Say we did want to potentially start, like, streaming one-shots or something, if we ever get to that point. Which would be fun. Probably the first thing I'd do is be like, oh, we'll start at, like, only once a month to give us plenty of time to prep. But we could always increase it. That is not what I wanted to click on.
So
I'm going on about random things here.
Oh, that's when do we not? Prep-wise, one thing I've had some success with in the few actual one-shots I've done, where as the GM, I made all of it.
Oh, nice.
Like the first horror one-shot I did, I made all of the characters, just pre-generated character sheets. I threw some suggested names on there, like I think one of them was like Sam or Sarah, if depending on which gender they wanted to play.
Nice.
But I did like all of the stats, the sheets, all of it. I pre-made it all, so that as soon as we got in, we sat down. I threw the premise out there, like, hey, for that one, I was like, this is a horror game. You guys are going to start out in the woods on a camping trip. You're all in that space between 18 and the end of college. I've got your character sheets. I threw a couple suggested things in there for like personality and history. Those are optional. Okay, let's jump in. Which I think that helped a lot because it was a new system for everyone but me. And there wasn't a whole lot of like, okay, well, I want to make this character and what kind of build do I go for and what are the rules for this and do I need to take something for that? And it got us directly into the play.
I remember you kind of did that for us too when Death House was originally supposed to be a one-shot and then became a two-shot and then became a campaign. All of our stuff was pre-generated. The only thing you did ask us for was what they looked like and their names, and that alone still took us like 20-30 minutes.
Yep. Which, yeah, it's one of those things where it's easy for a one-shot with a new system for the GM to handle all of it and just I think I think what I did that time, and I know what I did for Death House, was I made more sheets than I had players and handed them out randomly.
Nice.
So I was like, here's what you got. If you want to switch, and trade. If you want to roll with what you got, roll with what you got. But let's jump in.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, because you mentioned Death House. Death House is great for a 1 or 2 shot, just going through it quickly, as long as the GM accepts that it's an absolutely lethal adventure.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I remember you made it so much more tame for us, and we still almost died a couple times.
and that was at 3rd level. That adventure was written for 1st level characters, and it is wicked. That's a really hard adventure to run.
Baker Street says, Inktopus and I planned for weeks when talking about adding me to the Strahd campaign. I'm
Yes,
not
we did.
surprised. And
We
Tokyo,
talked
no, you cannot have a
forever.
pet raccoon. Not IRL. You can have one in D&D though. But you cannot have one IRL.
Fun fact, it is legal to have a pet opossum.
There you go. Go get an opossum.
They're surprisingly cuddly and very soft.
Why not? I don't know. I just said no. I mean, are you gonna take care of it properly?
A raccoon is a big responsibility.
But I know, especially a lot of people in our friend group, we get so excited when we talk about world building, character creation. Like, I am still rewriting my character for Echo, just in case we ever play that campaign. Yeah, I'm in a dream stomping mood today, okay, Tokyo? I'm sorry.
You mentioned Echo, and I've been... Me and Baker Street talked about that character for, like, literally every day for, like, 2 weeks.
I'm not surprised. I'm still super excited to potentially play that game. And if we don't, I want to at least hear more about the world. Because I was so excited. And then just so much kept happening.
I want to hear about the world and also the other characters.
Because if I remember right, it was meant to be a one-shot. Wasn't it? I don't know if you're still in here, Baker Street. Yes, we need to play it. Please.
Agreed.
Stream or no stream, I don't care. We really need to play that one. There's so much work that went into that world, that's going into the characters. Sapphire is also super down to rejoin. But
it was almost a month. Yeah, it was. We talked about that game a lot.
Yeah, everyone's characters are still secret. Yeah, we can't share. And I'm rewriting mine again because unfortunately I make characters just in the phase of how I'm feeling. So my character's being rewritten for like the millionth time.
My character's not being rewritten, but I need to go comb through like a year's worth of conversations with Baker Street to find all of the info.
Absolutely. Oh yes, and with potential to become a full campaign. Absolutely. I remember being so excited. Because I remember you were going to use that to try out like DMing and stuff. But life just got in the way, unfortunately. And a lot of, myself included, just didn't completely finish making my character yet. Which part of that was just because I was like, oh, the campaign's not starting soon. I've got time. And that just kept kind of building.
My NPCs have so much backstory. I can only imagine. My character was basically complete, except I kept going back and forth about what, about like the actual stats, like subclass and stuff like that.
Nice.
I must have built that character probably 10
I do need to, because part of it was I kept trying to ask for all these different weird mechanics, classes that we really didn't know about. So I'm like, okay, I need to remake my character to something a little more simple. Because one, it's a DM who is still learning to DM. Two, I am a player who's only played in 2 campaigns. So I shouldn't be going this hard with the character class. Sapphire says, I struggle with backstory. That's what I'm for. I can give you the backstory.
I struggle with backstory for my, like, the rare occasions I get to play a character, I also struggle with backstory. And a lot of the time I lean on the phrase, stuff happened, I'll figure out in game.
If you remember what Ziku was like, it was wild.
Oh yeah. I thought it was great. I was like, this is a little chaos gremlin and I am here for it.
That is also the best part, working with your dungeon master to do backstory. Because they can help you integrate things that will actually match your world, and all of that. So you don't have to be like, oh, I'm doing all this work, and this stuff didn't even exist. So now I did all that for, like, almost nothing. They can help you actually make things fit. They'll help you, like, compromise with things or adjust things. Also, goodness knows you had to do a million things for Rose.
Yeah, but as a DM, that got me really jazzed up for the game. Where a lot of the time, like, things can sort of bog down. It's like, okay, well, I've done a little bit of prep for next session, but we're not going to play for at least a week. Like, enthusiasm can kind of drop a little bit.
Tokyo, I think we draw the line at making your own races unless you work with your DM to make sure they're not broken. As long as you work with your DM has final say. They are essentially God when it comes to these games. So as long as they're okay with it, and it can work.
That phrase is also an entire stream of itself. But yeah, I mean, the players getting enthusiastic about their characters helps me as a GM, because at that point I'm like, okay, they're pumped up for it. Now I'm gonna get pumped up for it. And like, some of your ideas weren't going to be in the game until you said something about it, and I was like, whoa, that's awesome. I want to put that in there. I want to see this. So like, it really is more of a collaborative process than just, you know, hey, this is the character I want to make. Oh, that doesn't fit in my world or whatever. Like,
oh, okay, Tokyo, what you said makes more sense now. So you want to make your own races for your own area. That's cool. There are so many out there, though. Like, I can share some resources with you. There's so many out there already.
There are
it helps save
absolute ton. About to turn the one-shot chat into a character chat. You're not wrong. Which is exactly the opposite, because one-shots, you want to drive that character like you stole it, and you don't care about what happens to him.
If this works, I do have a Discord. If anyone wants to join, we do randomly talk about D&D stuff, and if it gains enough traction, I can actually make more channels dedicated to it, which I will if we actually start streaming more D&D stuff. But my Twitch does have its own Discord. I post other things there too, but we're talking about D&D. So, which absolutely, I've been trying to annoy Sapphire into posting more of the stuff she makes, because oh my gosh, her ideas are phenomenal. I also make her post her maps, because you can see this lame stuff I'm putting together. Part of this is because no thoughts, brain empty, brain is soup, like this lava soup. But Sapphire's builds are amazing. Sapphire also has this game, Dungeon Alchemist, by the way. And like, I had them post their Mushroom Forest, I think, recently. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. But yeah, sorry. just dropping my Discord all of a sudden. But
It
absolutely,
works,
I
though.
love character creation, love character chat. Eventually, we're actually gonna get Baker Street on stream to also join us, chatting about character chat, if she's still interested. Someday.
I would be stoked for that. Just throwing that out there.
Because I know Baker Street also really loves D&D. So, that's what I thought. I knew you'd want to. I saw your message on Discord earlier, but I was like, I'm already streaming, I can't respond. Mostly because if I open Discord too much, Dungeon Alchemist really freaks out for some reason. Probably because I'm streaming the game to Inktopus so he can see it in real time. And he doesn't have to wait. We learned that. And again, Sapphire to the rescue, because they're like, oh, you can just stream it to him in Discord instead of being like, oh, Inktopus, look at this. And then waiting the 6-second delay for him to see what I'm talking about. Put you in, Coach? Absolutely. We can work out timing and stuff a little later
100%.
on. Alright, so you should definitely join my Discord, because then I can give you a guest role in there. Oh, look at this little bed.
Oh. I had something and it's gone. Oh, it's been a long night.
I'm sorry. That's my bad. I went off. But
no, I thought of it while you were talking and I was like, oh hey.
I know.
And then I got quiet and I was like, wait, where'd it go? Come back.
When it comes to character creation, I struggle with stats, and so I usually go to both Inktopus and Sapphire for that kind of assistance. But when I need help with backstory ideas, again, I also go to Inktopus because every single time he has been my DM. But I also go to Baker Street because, again, that brain is just perfectly sculpted for making the best backstory stuff ever. So, I absolutely cannot wait to make more characters. I to be honest, if we dedicate a channel to it, I'm probably gonna start making characters just for the fun of it.
Oh, I 100% will too. So I do the exact opposite of what you do. I make the stats and I go from there instead of backstory first. Or like sometimes I'll start making a character and I have no idea what I want to play. Like I don't even have a concept in my head. I'll go back and forth on like, what class do I want to play? Do I want to hit things with a sword? Do I want to cast a lot of spells? Do I want to be mediocre at both of those things? And sometimes I'll be reading through the classes and see a mechanic, like sneak attack or the hexes from the witch class, that third party class, and stuff like that, and just be like, okay, that sounds fun to play, like game wise, rule wise. Let's roll the dice on that and see if I can make a person that fits with that.
I get that, but I can't. I had, like, for Cakes, I had his entire backstory made. And then I was like, oh, they probably need stats. Like, I had a class in mind, because that's part of, that really helps with the background. But I had so much of, I mean, you know, you were being bombarded with messages from me the entire time I was making
it. It was a joy. It honestly was a joy. But yeah, 100%. Like, it's kind of funny. I used to be like that until I started doing like full-time, not full-time, but like the permanent GM role. And once I got into that, I started seeing a lot more different weird mechanics because all the different monsters. And that was, now I default to that going to a character to be like, ooh, I want to roll this combination of dice or do this weird thing and make, you know, build something out around that. Because I would go find weird monsters with a weird or fun mechanic and build encounters around that. So now I'm looking at characters the same way.
Nice. I get it, I just can't. Sapphire says she starts stats first too. So you're not alone. Which I doubt you would be alone on that front.
Well, and sometimes the stats are really the fastest part. Like, I could just make a character probably in, like, I don't know, 10 minutes, stats-wise. And the hardest part would be, like, picking spells.
Nice.
But the backstory, the rest of it, it's like, maybe they have a name.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to struggle. I'm going to get so attached to characters made for one-shots. Like, I am the type of person, I will make fan fiction of my own characters. Rose already has her own, like, continued backstory and lore. Even though if we couldn't continue the campaign.
I prefer the term headcanon over fanfic, but yeah, I mean, like, I get it.
I mean, technically, as the character's creator, it's just canon. In my mind,
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Sapphire says, names are the hardest for me. Names are almost always picked last.
Same.
I think that can go for most people, because I am actually also same there. Like, Cakes' name isn't even, like, his name isn't actually Cakes. It's actually a shortened version of his name. But I took forever to choose. Rose was just off the top of my head because, again, it was supposed to be a one-shot pre-gen character. So I was just like, I'm a flower. Let's name her a flower.
Mine was, so, like, okay. If I have to improvise a name, which I do constantly, I come up with stuff like Bucket.
Bucket is amazing.
For Bucket, I had a concept. I was like, Warforged, enthusiastic idiot. What's his name? I have no idea. I didn't know his name was Bucket until you guys asked him his name. And that's when it came from, like, my name's Bucket. I picked it myself.
And it was the cutest interaction absolutely ever. Baker Street says, name creation, or the name hits me when I'm in the middle of character creation. Like to make the name somehow meaningful to the character. Understandable.
Yeah.
Which actually, Rose's name isn't even totally truly Rose either. Which BakerStreetBabe actually helped me choose Rose's true name, which we never got to that point.
No, but we talked about it a lot.
We did, and I loved it. Baker Street also says, I think Valanthi was the only one that didn't have a lot of thought about the name beforehand. But Valanthi was an absolutely amazing name.
Valanthi
I love Valanthi's name so much.
The original incarnation of Valanthi had so much going on there. That might be the quickest I've fallen in love with one of my players' characters and been like, I can't kill her, but things are gonna happen to this character. Of course, that's also the game where I was dared to bring the horror.
Nice.
That was the original invention of the chest mouth was in that game.
Beautiful. I think we talked about that during the Curses chat stream.
I think so. So as a DM, I recycle some of my own material.
Oh no, absolutely. Please do. At all times.
I think the only thing I can't reuse is that shark in a jar. That was too perfect. We did play with a lot of different ideas for Valanthi. We were up to like 4 or 5 different like alt futures for Valanthi.
Amazing. I think I remember Baker Street told me about that.
We had a few. I've still got some homebrew stuff in my D&D Beyond homebrew collection that I made for Valanthi and Eris.
Aww.
So many potential paths. Yeah. one of those potential paths we were working on for Curse of Strahd.
I am struggling to place this wreath, but we will get there. There we go. Merrick has a very near and dear place in your heart. Dude, I've never even met the character, and Merrick has a place in my heart. The amount I've heard of this character, so much.
I remember we jumped into that game, and at first I wasn't sure. I was like, well, I just wanted to play this, and we'll see how it goes, and if everybody like keeps interest. And probably, I don't know, 10 minutes after Valanthi was introduced, I was just like, nope, we're playing this as much as possible because this is amazing.
Oh yeah, Sapphire. Keep forgetting about the wall collisions, my bad. I can do that. Oh yeah, Baker Street's asking, not sure if you remember, but did we ever tell you about the scheming we did, Madness? I think you told me some things. But if you guys want to talk about it again, go for it. I say again, but we haven't talked about it on stream, so go for it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
just remember to give context, because we have people here that may not have heard a lot of things. And if possible, try to avoid spoilers.
I was gonna say, for a lot of that scheming, big spoilers for Curse of Strahd. So.
Oh, then how about let's do that one on a different stream? Just because I do have the no spoilers tag on today. So we will do that at a different point. But actually, that would be more fun to have Baker stream on stream. I just called you Baker stream. Baker Street on with us anyway, like in voice call. So we will definitely do that at a different time. Because it'll be more fun.
I'm down. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's turned into a character chat stream, and I'm kind of here for it.
It has, but we were supposed to have Baker Street here, like, in voice chat. Though, to be honest, we could probably easily host character creation streams at least twice a month, if not more. Because there's so much to work on, so much you could build.
So much to work on. We could jump into different games. We could do so much.
This is what happens when you're here. Absolutely, and we love it. It is so much fun.
Oh yeah. Sometimes, I really like jumping into these D&D chats and not knowing really where we're gonna go and just seeing what happens.
Oh yeah, I came in like, yeah, this is our topic. I derailed myself like 3 times already.
We're gonna talk about one-shots. Kinda.
Except we're not, because we wanted to talk about something else instead, which is fine.
That said, we did hit some good points about one-shots. And I think there's still a lot there.
Oh yeah, and if people have questions, please feel free to ask. We are totally here for it. But otherwise, we are just going to get off topic, because that's what we do.
We have a topic so that we can say we have a topic, regardless of what we actually talked about.
You know, Baker Street, if you wanted to hop in voice chat, you can. My reactive is set up for group.
I'm here for it.
Just wanted to let you know in case you did. But if you don't want to, no pressure. Oh, right. I gotta give you a roll first so you can actually see what I'm doing. 1 second.
Oh, it's about to get awesome.
So I'm going to give you the guest roll. Okay. So you have the guest role. Go ahead and go to my Discord, and you should see in voice channels, there's going to be one that's called streaming. If you join that one, you should be in there with us. And then it's using reactive, so kind of like if you've seen... Oh, there you are.
Hey, hey.
And look at that beautiful picture.
Yay! Okay, I haven't. I don't have the stream up anymore. Let me grab my tablet.
It's fine.
And if we can do that. Because my laptop is very dead.
Mood.
Yeah, same.
I don't know why these little lights are in cages, but they are. The cages are open. They can leave at any time.
Or are the cages just enchanted?
No, they're open.
No, I meant the light is the cage magic.
Oh, that's true. Maybe.
Or maybe it's a trick and the light's there to get somebody to entice them into the cage.
Maybe. Though, to be honest, if anybody other than... Well, maybe not anybody. I'm like, it's made out of candy cane and gingerbread. I'd just eat my way out. Oh, how fun would that be as a one-shot? You end up in a town like this, and then... I was talking to Sapphire about this, actually, before. And then, like... So you're like, oh, what a cute little town, all the snow. So you start making snowmen, and then turns out, however many snowmen the players made, they come to life when the sun goes down. And then if you made a ton of snowman, you gotta defend yourself. Naturally, there's gonna be some, like, the DM's like, oh, this many were, like, pre-made. So you can't just be like, oh, well, we didn't make any. Like, no. No, everything's going. You're still gonna have some.
I need to resist the urge to mix Frosty the Snowman with the zombie apocalypse.
No, that's literally it, though.
Don't resist the urge. Please do it.
Yes, please do. That is quite literally what Sapphire and I were thinking.
You do realize I would turn, like, Santa's Christmas Village into a horror movie, right?
What do you
As
think
you
The
absolutely
Nightmare Before
would.
Christmas is? Except that one's a little more kid-friendly. Just do it.
Oh,
You
guys
love
are
horror anyway.
And you encourage me and enable me, and I love you both for it.
I want to be able to punch a snowman.
Same.
Yeah, but wait until the snowman punches back.
That's my point. I want it to punch back. And I want it to have a cute top hat.
Fun interaction for certain characters to have.
It would.
I would love to see Cole interacting with a living snowman.
I want to see Bucket going to give it a hug and getting just pummeled.
Oh, it would be
he
so
would.
cute. Bucket
Because you
would
know
absolutely.
Bucket would give him a hug.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That would just be straight up like, hi, new best friend. Cue me rolling 3 crits in a row.
Oh, poor Bucket.
Bucket, I love Bucket. I feel like Bucket has a really tragic backstory.
Well, don't
I just
tell
haven't
us.
figured out what it is yet.
It's like, you can't tell us
Like,
that.
listen,
You can let us find out by
I am
one
a
shot.
tragic backstory.
Well, that's the beauty of it. I have no idea what it is. I just know there's something dark in his past. Like, Bucket has seen some stuff and come through the other side with boundless enthusiasm.
Aww.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Whereas Cole, not so much.
No, Cole, for all of you watching, Cole has a very tragic backstory. Like, I have a cute fluff backstory for my character. For Cole, it's just sad. It's just super sad.
For Cole, it's like, who hurt you? Let me give you a hug.
Oh, absolutely.
Except at the ZM, I know who hurt Cole. I still want to give him a hug.
Cole also wouldn't accept hugs.
Also true.
I want to
Well,
befriend Cole so bad.
That's what you have mimics for, and they give non-consensual hugs.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure. Cole's
And,
Cole's a character that would go hug a chestnut.
I could see that. Bucket's a hugger.
Absolutely.
Bucket is also Cole is the kind of character that would go hug a chest mouth and trying to fight it. This would be a grapple. Bucket is the character that's like, oh, new friend.
Well, I don't know
Bucket's
if you
the
guys
character that would be
remember,
like,
but
go ahead.
okay. But Bucket has been grappled by Cole and thought it was a hug.
Yeah, that is that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bucket was also
actual proof.
thrown by Cole.
I can't wait till we have character art for everybody. It's gonna be so nice.
I need to figure out how to draw a Warforged who's just got head empty, no thoughts expression.
I can try and draw the cutest chibi, but it will take time, especially because I don't know how to draw a Warforged.
I'm not gonna lie, every Warforged in my head looks like the bare metal version of Iron Man.
Yeah, yeah. I have made the promise to all of my PCs to draw their character for Echo, and I have drawn no player characters, but almost all of the NPCs.
I mean, well, that makes sense for mine because I keep changing it.
I think the only player characters are Basker's character and Inktopus's character.
Nice.
I will straight commission you for a picture of my character.
Dude, so would I.
I know I've sent you inspiration art.
You have. You've sent me a lot.
I technically have.
It's good inspiration art.
But then
yeah,
I
you
keep
have to.
Like, okay, to be fair, the name and looks of my character is not changing. It's just the class. So technically, looks-wise, my character is complete.
What about the backstory?
I know. But for the most part, same thing. It's going to be very, very similar. There's just a couple things that was related to class that I'm gonna have to adjust.
The class again?
Sorry, Sapphire, if you missed it. I'm changing my class for that one again. I know you've done it 3 times. I'm changing. I'm debating on changing it again because, one, it's kind of mean to put such a difficult class in to someone who's new to DMing, and also that's going to be a lot of effort for a character that might be a one-shot. But we'll see. I also might not change it. I don't know. Which, getting us all riled up about it again, we'll probably end up talking about it. So, we'll see.
Have mine
because I really like the lore that I have set that I can't talk about because no one else can know about it. Sapphire knows everything because that was before she was invited to the campaign. But, which is fine. Our characters are going to start together anyway. Yeah. But
I believe Ink is the only one that knows very much backstory for some of the NPCs, specifically one in general that we're just going to call Q for now. Because his character starts with Q, and that is the only information that you will get from me.
How about
just for everyone? What I know.
Just for everyone watching, can we get like a basic world description? So like,
oh, for sure.
Just so everyone kind of knows what we're talking about for this campaign.
This is for a campaign that we have been talking about running for a while. Well, I should say one shot. It's going to start as a one shot, but knowing us and our friend group, it's going to turn into a full campaign. It is based off of a short story that I was writing in high school that I never actually got very far on because I got too invested in some of the characters. But just a general synopsis of the world itself. It is split into 2 levels. There's a floating city called Eden, and the ground city, like actual Earth, is called Echo. And Echo is very dystopian. It's very rundown, and basically any of the characters that live in Echo are fighting for survival, whereas all of the upper class characters living in Eden are very well off. They don't have to fight for anything. And then Echo very much hates Eden because they are being forcibly beaten down. Eden will send troops down to Echo to essentially keep them in line, make sure they don't have resources. Anybody that is like starting some form of rebellion gets taken out, that kind of situation. So it's intended to be a very like dark, gritty story.
And I'm so excited for it.
Oh, I'm pumped. This character has lived in my brain for a hot minute.
He is such a great character.
Oh, we spent so long. We really did. We spent an entire month talking about that character pretty much every day at work.
Yeah, pretty much.
How else were you gonna get through work?
You're not wrong. There was a lot of time there where I was like, I have stuff to do, but I also need to find character art.
Mm-hmm. That's the other nice thing. I've picked up like drawing again. I was like, oh, I can make myself character art, and then now I have just learned I really only do well at chibi style. That's it.
We are opposites. I struggle very hard with chibi style, but anything like the bigger, more I don't want to say realistic because it's really not, but realistically proportioned, I guess I could say. That's my wheelhouse.
I will gladly trade. Like, you want a chibi? I got you.
For sure. We did.
And I am bad at all of it.
Those characters.
We did, actually. If you guys joined my server, you can actually see it because it is the only one in the FanHut channel. And I adore it to bits. I actually printed it out and I have it next to my computer. So I can see this beautiful drawing every single day. It is also my phone lock screen. Still.
I'm not gonna lie.
So much.
After seeing it, I've had serious thought about asking for a drawing of my tiefling.
I would love to. You have to send me information about your tiefling, but I would love to draw.
I will send you information about my tiefling as I make information about my tiefling.
Okay, deal.
That's fair.
Literally all I know is her name is Mystery, she's purple, and was cursed at some point, probably by hags.
Love that.
Beautiful.
Which, the hag part, I blame on our Strahd game.
Mood.
Yeah, that was before I joined, right?
No, I think that was after.
Yeah, that actually happened after. That
was
was
yeah. The first time I joined.
Yeah.
The only time I joined.
Yeah, the only time, unfortunately.
It's a
We
real
had
shame
plans.
that campaign fell apart.
Yeah, but it happens. We just gotta
definitely
be.
have to have talking about the scheming we did.
Yes. I am
so much
absolutely down
schemes.
for it. I just like to prepare because even though Curse of Strahd's been out a while, don't want to accidentally spoil it for some people. I actually don't know how long, like, for a D&D campaign, until you can freely talk about things.
So Curse of Strahd is an interesting point there, because the original Ravenloft came out. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm sorry if you can hear my computer. My keyboard's loud.
That's fine. I don't think we can hear it, so you're good.
Okay, that's good. Oh, this page doesn't have it. So Curse of Strahd for 5th edition came out. It was published in 2016. So it's been out a while. The original, which was Ravenloft, which had the original Castle Ravenloft and the origin of Strahd and Barovia and all that, originally published in 1983 for D&D 1st edition.
Oh, wow.
So, Strahd and his story and the land of Barovia and Ravenloft and all that, it's been around a hot minute.
Okay, then I feel a little less bad. But we could still try and hold off just to be nice, for this stream at least.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then
and
later
it gives
on
us
down
an
the line,
excuse to have another stream.
that's true. I don't know why that's going there, but it is. Because it didn't want to let me put it inside.
You know
Since
what?
I have inadvertently turned this chat into character creation and just character talk in general, that is one of the most fun things that I very much enjoy about D&D is creating characters. And Inktopus and I have just like logs and logs of chat talking about like Discord messages, talking about characters, and like back and forth for like months. And I think my very first character, Valanthe, we had made right before session, or like during the session, I guess. I didn't know very much about her. I just know that I wanted her to be a noble and kind of straight-laced and very particular about things. And it happened to have this very long, dumb name that every single time she introduces herself, she says the full name. And it was later talking with Ink that I was like, oh, what if we did this for Valanthe? What if Valanthe was like this? And we would just like ask each other questions back and forth. I think one of the questions that he asked me was like, oh, does she wear any jewelry? And that turned into, yeah, she absolutely loves jewelry. She has, her horns are adorned in like gold, gilded, and rings, and all of these things. And it just turned into this huge thing of Valanthe goes through and like a 2-hour long process to like just for her hair. And it's so much fun. Every single time I get asked a question about Valanthe, more and more lore comes out of it, and she just becomes more and more insane.
Amazing. That's the best part, too. Because I've done the exact same thing with Ink. We just go back and forth, ask a million questions. And then those questions bring up more questions than answers.
Exactly.
I just want to say, like, I have the biggest, like, stupid grin on my face. Because I absolutely love that stuff. And like, I loved creating characters with you guys vicariously through you. Because they weren't my characters, but I love them.
You love them like they're your own.
I want to see them grow and change and get loot and kill monsters and have horrible things happen to them in the course of the story.
Yeah, one thing that we can talk about, I don't know if there's ever going to be very much progress on this campaign now that one of our players has moved to a different state. But one of the things that we had planned for Valanthe, and Valanthe has many names depending on like different paths that she decides to take, but we had determined that one of the things that could potentially happen to her is she is a tiefling, so we find out who her fiend kin is, and it's a succubus, and she's this very straight-laced, raised by elves cleric that her faith is based on the Undying Court. So she's very much against necromancy and all of these things, but she finds out that her fiend kin is a succubus that was basically a priestess of the name is escaping me.
The blood of Vol.
Yes. And one of the paths that she could potentially take, and this is the character or the name Merrick, where it comes from, is she decides to renounce. She has this huge crisis of faith and decides to renounce the Undying Court, and instead becomes a priestess of the blood of Vol herself. And she really gets in touch with her roots and her fiendkin, and basically says she's no longer an elf. That's part of her whole story, right? Is that she, for the longest time, because she was raised by elves, despite being a tiefling, she has this interesting mindset that she is elvish. So she is not an elf, but she is elvish.
It was like being an elf is part of the mindset and the culture more than, the blood.
Exactly, yeah.
I think my favorite thing we talked about with Valanthe that I still think about is the scene with the hair.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
we didn't get to play out.
I don't know if we told you this, Dahlia, but Valanthe's hair is like several feet long. And it is, again, she goes through this whole routine of brushing her hair for 100 strokes on each section. And she uses these oils and ointments and stuff in her hair. It is treasured for her like it is most elves. And she refuses to cut it. And there is just this moment where, because she knows she's not actually an elf, she doesn't have elvish blood. It's not as important to her. And she in combat, the thing that we talked about was like specifically in combat, her hair is used against her. Enemies will like catch her hair and pull her back and take swipes at her. So she's in this scene that we like talked about as if it was like some big movie scene, or like the cliffhanger at the finale of a series, right? She has this like deep emotional moment and she just cuts off all of her hair. And that's why when you've seen art of Merrick that I've drawn, she has this really short, like blood red hair, whereas Valanthe has like yellow blonde, long hair.
Luxurious.
The only reason I knew Merrick had short hair from like the get-go is I helped you pick the style. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
I remember you being like, I just don't know what to do, and I just sent you a million things from Pinterest.
For sure.
And I was like, ta-da!
It was great, yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know why Merrick had short hair. I remember at the time I just thought it was like a different character. And then you started telling me about Valanthe's lore.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
Yeah,
beautiful.
so she has this moment, and the blood red is actually her natural hair color. The like super light blonde, that's all essentially dyed.
Oh
So
wow.
she essentially makes herself look more elvish.
Yeah, her idea of what like the ideal elf would look like, I think, was how we rolled with it.
Oh, interesting.
I'm not gonna lie. We came up with that scene, and I was at work, totally being productive at work, not screwing off on Discord, and I was at work at my desk, like almost a little choked up, listening to it, going through and talking about it, and being like, I love this character so much, and she is going to suffer because of what we're doing right now.
Absolutely. And that's just unfortunately how it often is with D&D.
That's also the character.
At least depending on, story.
True. Also the character and the session where the phrase "bring the horror" came into play.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I always did think it was interesting that the two characters I associate most with you two, Rose and Valanthe, both were leaning towards necromancy. Completely independently.
To be fair, Rose was doing it because any game that has the possibility of necromancy, I play it. Like, that's
fair.
That's how it is.
Necromancy is just fun.
It is, and I just love the idea of being able to play with that.
Right.
Hello, I'm gonna mispronounce your name again, aren't I? Biadhof. But yeah, nope, I'm messing up. Can I call you a nickname? Would that be okay? Inktopus, help me. Pronounce your friend's name. Fia. Okay. Hello, Fia. Welcome in. Yeah, we're talking about D&D stuff, and I'm making a little odd village of just gingerbread stuff. Playing with the seasonal stuff.
It's from the Feywild.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cute. How are you today? Welcome in. Oh yeah, I was going out here.
I'm trying to think, what other stuff did we come up with for that game?
For which game?
Our Eberron one. Valanthi's game.
Oh, there was so much. There was a potential for Valanthi to again renounce her. The plan was always for Valanthi to go through a crisis of faith. The potential was where she landed with that. So she could either have this huge crisis of faith, have that affect her ability and her powers, and then turn around and like double down and remain Valanthi, and stay with her elvish roots. There was also a potential for her to reconnect with her sister, because she has a twin sister, Eris, who is my IRL twin sister. And she like reconnects with her, and they go on this whole revenge quest and find some form of connection, and she takes her true name back, because Valanthi isn't her true name. And then the Merrick path, and there was a fourth path where she didn't really do any of that. She has this crisis of faith. She decides that she doesn't want to follow anybody else's path anymore and forges her own.
Yeah, there was a lot going on there. A lot of options. It was super wide open. I don't think either one of us knew what we were going to do.
Oh, absolutely not.
Game
no.
to game.
That's the best part. You choose like in the moment and then just see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very interesting knowing that there were so many options available to me of figuring out how I was going to play her. And I think one of the things that came of that was I think our most tense session that we ever had, where truly, honestly, me and my sister both ended up crying afterwards, because we are playing twins in game, and we are twins in real life, and there was this huge argument between our characters, Eris and Valanthi, of like Eris's whole motivation is finding her sister. This was her last, like the last things our dying parents told her, was to find her sister and protect her. And she says this to Valanthi of like, I'm supposed to protect you, I'm supposed to be there for you, we are sisters. And Valanthi saying like, we're not family, you've never, like, where have you been? And it was one of the most insane moments, genuinely, of me and my sister sitting in the same room, like feet away from each other, screaming at each other through a Discord call. And like having this like super, super tense moment. And then afterwards being like, are you okay? Are we okay? Like, just insane. But it was very like important for those characters to have a moment like that.
Oh, and I don't know if you ever realized it, but I was on the other end of that call. just quietly sniffling. Just like, that got
Aw.
real.
It was very tense.
That was a very real session.
That's the roleplay I want to eventually be a part of. Like,
It's
I was so excited for Rose to get that, but we never actually made it that far.
I think it's the only time in my 20 some odd years of gaming where someone legitimately cried during a session. Because of the role play, not because of, like,
Gotta
we were 12
specify.
we were 12 and I killed a character because I was an asshole DM. No, like a real intense roleplay moment. I think all of us got choked up.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad that I think we made Jeffy very uncomfortable in that specific moment. Because I think he just wasn't expecting something like that to happen. Although it was his issue dare of like, make this tense, make this horror.
Yeah,
I don't think
while
he meant.
we did.
I don't think he meant emotional horror.
Yeah,
I
don't
think
he meant emotional horror, but we did bring the horror.
Oh yeah, we brought a lot in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that game was interesting because it was another one where I was like, I don't know how long this is gonna last. We'll just make up characters real quick. I think we did it on like a whim.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, screw it, we're just gonna play D&D this weekend. And I think about how maybe like 20-25 minutes into character creation, I was like, this just got legit.
Yeah, me and Brooke had been joking that we were going to make like really goofy characters on the way to your place to play that game. And then we sat down for character creation and I was like, oh, we're not gonna make goofy characters. Like it got very real very quickly.
How it be.
I don't remember who said it, but was like long lost twin sisters. I was like, got it. This is going to be an emotional game.
Yep.
And I gotta get in that headspace.
Like I said, I'm the queen of tragic backstories. Neither Eris nor Valanthi went by their true names. That was a fun detail that we kind of... It wasn't initially that way, but it was introduced, I think, almost immediately after that first session. I know Basker initially wanted... Basker went in knowing exactly the name that she was going to have and exactly how she wanted to play a character. So, her name genuinely means true chaos.
Nice.
She brought it.
She sure did. Her character carries a bag of teeth from people that she has punched the teeth out of.
The bag of teeth.
Oh, hey, Sapphire has a character that falls right into that alley. Had to take a piece of someone, everyone she defeated. Didn't matter what, just something.
Absolutely. But Eris very much was like a chaos character, and then we had somewhere along the lines in character creation what if she and Valanthi have this connection to each other? And it was sorry, my father just started calling me. That was very weird. And it was, I think it was me initially that was like, oh, what if they're just long lost twin sisters? What if they were separated at a very young age? But my character didn't know that.
Aww.
I think that was the thing. When you said my character doesn't know that, that's when it went off in my brain. Like, okay, it's gonna be one of those games. Got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it was very interesting to build a character like that for the first time. It was never like I used to write short stories and things, and like I grow very attached to characters very, very quickly and very easily. Like my character Q, the reason I never finished writing the Echo short story is because I fell in love with Q so much to the point where I didn't want to hurt him. So I stopped writing it because that was the initial plan with Echo was to hurt Q. He wasn't initially the main character. Like I think the main character initially was I don't know if I've ever shown you guys, but it's a character named Aphrodite.
Yes, I have seen Aphrodite.
Yeah, you showed me.
Yeah. Okay, cool. She was the initial main character, and she was going to hurt Q very, very much.
And then you were like, no, my sweet baby boy.
This is my son. I can't hurt him. But I do generally, actually, this is so sad to say, but I do generally like to hurt my characters. I think some form of tragedy, some form of hurt actually brings a lot of depth to a character and really drives their motivation in a way that makes sense. So that's why like Volanthi has these things that are going to hurt her. Every character I've made, like Cole, has this like really tragic story because it then drives all of her interactions with other people. It drives like it feeds information into her actions, whereas as other player characters, you guys might not know that. Like Cakes might not know why she acts so like tense all the time and why she's so like withdrawn. But I think that gives a lot of information to how I personally play a character.
True. And I think that's also part of the fun too, is your characters from very different backgrounds will get to experience and potentially eventually talk about these things.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, your DM knows about it and provides these opportunities. So it does take the player's cooperation to make these moments happen. Sometimes it doesn't. But, like, finding out about that and the shock. I know Cole's backstory because we were very open about the character creation for those characters. But it's not gonna, I'm still gonna react the same because my character knows nothing. And will probably be quite traumatized because he grew up with the nicest background. He got the sweetest upbringing.
For Cakes, I just treasure the opportunity that you gave me to play Dragon Dad.
Dragon Dad is amazing, and the fact that you originally weren't going to actually put a ton into it, and then I was like, nope, this is happening, and it's like, well, this is happening now.
Oh yeah, that was like, all right, well, sure, I'm not gonna fight that. Let's do it. It like full send.
And it was amazing because it was necessary.
Another one where we talked for weeks about those characters before ever putting dice on a table.
That wasn't the intention. That campaign was actually supposed to start sooner. Things just weren't lining up schedule-wise.
We also decided relatively last minute to add Cole.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
I think Cole was the fastest I've ever made a character, like full backstory, everything. I think I very quickly just connected with her.
And I know something
Sometimes
I like to do, and you quickly attached to, was to essentially give a song that kind of like represented your character.
Yes. I love that.
Part of the reason I like to do that is because I'm like, okay, I love this character because this and this reason. But what if I'm not conveying that properly? And, like, obviously it's not a given, but most people understand the feeling of music more than anything. So I'm like, okay, well, this song represents my baby boy. And then you latched onto it so quick. I did have to help Sapphire find a song. Which is
It's-
fine, because
it's very
backstory is also
fun.
hard for them.
Right. It's very fun connecting a song to a character because that also means like as they're changing throughout the story, the song also changes. And like that's really cool and interesting. And then you can have multiple songs because people are so very complex.
Absolutely.
Like Cole is a certain way with the general public, but how would she be with her brother? Like that's things that I think about, and I have made a twin in almost every character of mine that I've ever made. I am now
Amazing.
Because Cole has a twin, Valenti has a twin. Characters that I haven't even told you guys about have twins. Like it's being a twin myself makes like kind of feeds that interest in like having this.
No, understandable as a fellow twin. I get it.
I think for sure, like having a twin character, like as being a twin myself, there's a lot of like emotional potential in having a twin, in your character's backstory. And I think one of those things is like, I being a twin in real life can never imagine being separated from my sister, in any like real, like, I don't know how to say this in like any like real defining way. Like if we were to live in separate states, that's one thing, right? But if we were to truly be separated, no contact, that would kill me inside.
Oh, I get that. Absolutely. I talk to my twin practically daily. In some way, shape, or form. Even though we don't live together. Look how cute my little town is at night. But I absolutely get it.
So like
I love the map. That one glowing portal orb is really ominous, and I love it.
Right?
It's like all real cute and cozy, and then there's this one orb that is just like, I don't know if I trust
Being
it.
held by a gargoyle of some sort.
Hey, I mean, if all the snowmen are gonna come to life, what are we saying about ice sculptures?
Don't make
That's
me
what
cat
it
monsters
is.
this late in the morning.
Did you stat Golden Pupper yet?
Not yet. That's a. I gotta think about that one. Yeah. I'd kind of forgotten about it, but I do need to stat that up.
You forgot about Golden Pupper? How could you?
It's been a long couple of weeks, alright?
That's my point. It has only been a couple weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
Our first D&D stream, I was just playing around with different features, and I just made a giant paw print out of, like, molten gold.
Love that. That's super fun.
And I was like, well, that's a primordial creature I didn't think I would have to create a stat block for.
And now you have to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm contractually obligated.
Yep.
As a member of this stream, you are now contractually obligated to stat Golden Pupper.
Yep, absolutely. It is mandatory.
Be careful what you wish for. I am a horror GM.
That's fine.
That's absolutely fine.
As long as they get stats.
Oh, you are both such enablers. We are going to play a Chronicles of Darkness one-shot.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Like, that might be my project over a couple of days, is craft something horrific to inflict on my best friends.
Can you even
Honestly,
call
I'm
them
here
best
for it.
friends if you don't inflict horror on a tabletop RPG for them?
See?
For
You just
sure.
get me.
We understand each other.
I'm putting this slime in a present. It's so
And-
cute.
And I'm the monster.
Well, it's open. It can get out at any time.
I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about whoever gets that present.
Oh. I don't know.
That's-
Maybe that's what they asked Santa for.
Okay, right there. Perfect example. That box, that's a mimic with a gelatinous cube inside it.
Oh, absolutely.
2 monsters for the price of 1.
Oh, please make that a combat encounter when you make the Frosty zombie apocalypse.
I'm gonna have too much fun with that.
That would be
That
so
is
much
the whole
fun.
point.
Yeah, that is the whole point. BOGO
You know-
baddies, absolutely.
I just have to say, I really appreciate how much you guys encourage that. I've had other gaming groups that were like, we just want to be heroes and have good things happen and kill monsters and get loot. And I'm like,
But that's not the point of
I'm
the
not
game.
here to be a hero. I am here to cast fireball and break shit.
yeah,
And roleplay.
I'm here for the role play and also to try and be a badass and end up falling flat on my face.
Exactly.
I just want to have one of my players every session look at me and go, what the fuck?
Like I did when you bit my head off with a massive sized spider.
Exactly. But also,
Yes.
as a player, it is my job to make my DM go every session. You did what?
I'm sorry. Go again?
Like, gaslighting hags.
Honestly,
I've had
sounds like a great
games.
time.
I've had games where I literally sent the players outside. I was like, I don't know what you've done, what's going to happen next. I need you all to go outside for a smoke break while I flip through the monster manual and hope I can salvage this
Amazing.
in some way.
Amazing.
I'm glad that hasn't been one of us so far, but it's probably coming soon.
Oh, it's
Um,
coming.
Fallen Star. Ask him about that game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, I
That
look
was the
forward to
very
that.
first game I played with him and one of our other work friends. 2 of our other work friends. Completely on a whim. That was literally a, hey guys, my family's out of town this weekend. Come over to the house, we'll play D&D, and we'll have some drinks, and we'll have a good time. And I think that was an 11 or 12-hour gaming session.
Ooh.
Man,
Where
I want to be a part of one of those.
I threw my note. I had a binder full of notes and stuff that I could have done. I threw it out 5 minutes into character creation, and I was just like, well, here we go. This is either going to be great, or I'm never playing D&D with these people again.
Amazing. I want to be part of like a 12-hour session.
Look, I'm up to run it. I'll figure something out.
I don't know when or how we'll ever get that sort of time.
We
But
could
we'll
speed
figure
run
it
the
out.
Curse of Strahd.
Yes.
I'm down. Let's do it.
1 session, like 8th level characters. Yeah, we can make that work.
Oh, we should do that as our first charity stream.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. That would be fun.
Vacation, you don't know about this. So I, eventually when, the holiday season's probably over, just because, exhaustion, I want to do a charity stream once a month. So if you know any good charities, feel
Hey.
free to send them my way. Because the hardest part I'm looking into is, checking if a charity's legit.
Oh, for sure.
Because,
Yeah,
that
if
is a
I
pain.
know any,
I know at least one that is not. So if it comes up, I will let you know.
Absolutely. Please keep me in the loop on that. But I definitely, once a month, I want to do a charity stream. And I know Twitch does have an integration for that, which I will try first. But if that doesn't work well, I will do it the way that I've seen other streamers do it, where they just keep track of the amount that they earn that stream and then send it over. Because the Twitch integrated system, it doesn't count subs or bits, it's direct donations. which is nicer because that means you're actually getting more. Whereas, a sub is a little over $5, but a streamer only gets half of that. Twitch gets the other half. So by using the integrated, it's better because they can actually just donate directly to a fund that will all get sent to the charity by like Twitch. Like, it makes it so much easier from what I've read. I haven't done it yet. But that would be so much fun. We could have a charity stream going while running a campaign. Entertainment
Especially
for people.
Super long one.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
especially for a long one.
That could even get really devious with stuff like, all right, chat, donate so much and something gnarly.
Oh,
is gonna
absolutely.
happen.
Like, they hit this will take quite a bit of planning, which is why I'm starting planning now. But definitely we're going to need goals like, oh, if you get to this, the players will be attacked by this type of level or this monster in their next encounter. Or whatever else we think of, because my brain's lacking right now.
Oh, I've got some ideas. We'll come up with some stuff.
Absolutely. There's a spot I'll probably want it as part of a thread and not its own channel. If we should do that in the charity stream chat. Because I have one of those too. And you should be able to see it.
I just had a thought.
Share.
About chat being able to buy dice rolls. Whether we do it as donate so much and somebody gets advantage, or donate a different amount and the DM gets to impose disadvantage, or straight up like,
that would be interesting. The one thing about players is they love to curse other players, especially if they're not the ones in the campaign.
The other way to do it would be to buy players just a natural 20, or buy the DM a natural 1 to inflict. To be like, hey,
or vice versa.
I need you to make this dexterity saving throw, but I'm using my 1. Or yeah, vice versa. Where the DM says, hey, make this dex save, and the players are like, actually, I'm going to use one of the 20s the chat gave us.
I don't think we should let a player stockpile it, because they'll just save it forever.
Oh yeah.
Like, you have to use
like
the 20 in however many turns.
You have to use the 20 before chat can buy another one.
That
or
could
vice
work.
versa, whatever.
Or if we're in the middle of say it's combat, I feel like it has to be used during that encounter. If possible. Or they lose it.
Yeah.
And then they have to wait.
20s, they could just buy you a reroll. Because how frequently would we run through rerolls?
True.
Like, oh, I rolled a nat 1. I'm gonna actually re-roll that.
Oh, I love that idea.
I think the advantage-disadvantage thing would work really well.
I like both of those ideas. We need to make sure to write that down. That's really good. As much fun as we're having, I think I will kind of cut this short a little bit. Obviously, we can keep chatting, but I think I am going to end stream. My map is getting very full, and we are about to be at the 2-hour mark here, and it takes me a bit of time to end, so. If you guys are okay with it, obviously if you want to keep chatting on stream, we can. I just will probably cut it at 2.5 hours then. But if you guys are cool with it, I'll end now and we can keep chatting off screen. That way we don't also ruin all our surprises.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
I'm down.
Alright, so I am going to look for someone to raid really quickly. But I super appreciate everybody. Let me see if this command still works. And thank you all so much for joining. Again, I do have a Discord if anyone wants to join in. I do have a public D&D space that's just called like random D&D things that we can chat about. There's other things. I also have a VODs channel that I put no effort in other than posting.
That counts.
Yeah, it counts. Let me see who's online. Let's see. Looks like Dark Red Dove is online, and I think it's a great idea to raid over there. So we're gonna do that. There we go. Okay. Dark Red Dove is playing Gitteroo Man. I have no idea what that is, but that sounds exciting. If you want to stay and join in the raid, please feel free. It's a lot of fun, at least for me. If not, that's absolutely fine. I super appreciate all of you for being here. We're gonna give it a couple minutes for the raid to set itself up, and then we'll go.